Hello, in this video we will discuss about the niacin, the vitamin B3, and what is the function of the vitamin B3. We will discuss through a cellular pathway and what is the benefit and what is the harmful effect in our body when excessive vitamin B3 will be consumed. So the vitamin B3, also known as the nicotinic acid, it is present in the diet, and vitamin supplement can be used as a vitamin B3. And on the other hand, the egg contains 0.1 milligram, milk contains 0.2 milligram per 100 gram, and raw beef contains 5.0 milligram, and fish contains 24 milligram is the best example, as well as peanut contains 30.8 milligram is the best example of the niacin containing food. So here is the person contain a blood circulatory system. When we will take the food, it will be go into the blood circulatory system as the absorption of the niacin also. And in this way, here is the adipose tissue. So the triacylglycerol in the form of storage in the adipose tissue as a fat. It can be inhibit the lipolysis, and in this way the free fatty acid will be not produced because the hormone sensitive lipase enzyme will be inhibited. And in this way, the adipose tissue degradation prevention will occur. But remember, the free fatty acid will be decreasing in the blood circulatory system. It means the low density lipoprotein will be decreased in the blood circulatory system. So the free fatty acid inhibit into the portal movement into the hepatic circulation, because the inhibition of fatty acid mobilization due to the free fatty acid are less in the blood as compared to the triacylglycerol in the fatty acid. So here is the fatty acid, for example, convert part the lipogenesis will be decreased, and triacylglycerol conversion in the liver will be stopped, and cholesterol and apoprotein used to LDL to convert and stop the LDL to convert the HDL, the high density lipoprotein, the good cholesterol. So the good cholesterol level. So on the other hand, here you can see the side effect we will let's understand. So remember, the niacin will create the vasodilation because it is the vasodilator. It will trigger the nitric oxide to stimulate the vasodilation, so lead to flushing skin. That is a side effect. Sweating, redness, it can reduce by taking 325 milligram aspirin before niacin. That is the treatment. And itching of skin, the pruritus, it is allergic reaction can be inhibited through antihistamine. So anyhow, let's begin to understand through a cellular pathway. And the uric acid can increase and hepatotoxicity can increase, but it is rare. The possibility it will not. So here you can see this G coupled protein receptor 109 alpha. When the niacin will be bound, the intracellular trimeric protein is the used for the second messenger. After the first messenger is the niacin. So it will be triggered to the cyclic AMP, but we are not going to understand because the alpha contain a GDP will be activated to the GTP alpha, and the NAMN is stimulated by the alpha GTP activation will lead to NAAD, and in this way it will be stimulated, but the NAM will be stimulated through also NAMN, and NAM will convert into the NAD plus will also the synthesis through enzyme lead to phosphorylation, lead to NADP plus and NADPH through a hydrogenase enzyme, and in this way the reductive biosynthesis will be occur, and in this way the NADH homeostasis and energy regeneration due to the NADH is used for the electron transport chain to produce more ATP. So in this way, it is also trigger the NAD plus to convert the NAM. So in this way, the nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide will be converted into the nicotinamide adenine mononucleotide, which that will activate the SIRT gene and PARPS gene. In this way, the SIRT gene will lead to deacetylation, will lead to cause also the harmful effect, but also the beneficial effect. And in this way, also the PARPS gene activation will produce the mono ADP ribosylation, and it will basically also activate the SIRT gene and the PRP3 and 478, while the poly ADP ribosylation will lead to PRP1 and 2 activation. Anyhow, let's begin to understand the deacetylation containing the SIRT1 to 7 gene will lead to DS after it is used for the basically deacetylation due to the sirtuins gene, and this sirtuins molecule will basically trigger, and the SIRT1 to 7 gene is used for the genome stability. So in this way, it is the beneficial, and the SIRT4 to 6 and the PARP1 and 2 from the PARP gene, which that is the poly ADP ribose polymerase enzyme containing used for the genome stability and oxidative stress can create through a SIRT1 and 7 gene, and the same mechanism the SIRT4 and 6 also involve. While on the other hand, the glucose metabolism through SIRT1 and 6 and 7 involved for the glucose metabolism. So that is why the niacin is helpful for the glucose metabolism, and the pre-diabetic person can use to get a positive effect. While the lipid metabolism means the SIRT1 to 7 gene involved for the lipid metabolism. In this way, the lipid homeostasis and decrease of the low density lipoprotein, while increase the high density lipoprotein. In this way, the prevention of the cardiovascular disease. While the SIRT1 to 1, 2, and 6 is used to create the inflammation and cause lead to immune cell activation in the immune cell, while the vascular homeostasis through SIRT1 gene that is very important, and it is the beneficial effect, and the SIRT2 gene is the neuroprotective effect prevention through SIRT2 genes. So remember that all these things, remember this basically is the some side effect if we will our use of the niacin for activation of the gene due to the primary signal to the secondary signal. So the treatment through niacin we will discuss. The treat is dyslipidemia, the lower cholesterol, LDL, triglyceride, and increase the high density lipoprotein. While the lipid panel can be after the niacin consumption, the total cholesterol can be regulated, triacylglycerol will decrease, high density lipoprotein and cholesterol, density lipoprotein and cholesterol will increase, while the low density lipoprotein and cholesterol containing will be decreased, and the heart health increase and stroke possibility will be decreased. So in this video we had discussed about the niacin benefit and side effect, and the side effect will create the basically inflammation and the vasodilation, where the niacin is very important for the regulation of the metabolism regard to the glucose metabolism and lipid metabolism, the regulation of the lipid and the cholesterol level in our body to maintain a best health, as well as the niacin is used for the hypercholesteremia. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.